All right. This is still 3-3. I'm going to call this section B. This is on the product rule. You're not going to like the proof, but you're going to want to know how to do it because I might ask you how to do it. You never know what I'm going to throw on a test. So this is when we have like J of X equals F of X times G of X. And so we want the derivative is J prime of X is the derivative of F of X times G of X. And when we work that out, I was doing the other ones in big, thick yellow, so I'm going to do that here. You take the derivative of the first one and leave the second one alone. And then you leave the first, you add it to leaving the first one alone and the derivative of the second. Okay? I move this to the right a little bit so I can box it in purple easier. I do want to make a note that a lot of textbooks like to do it the other way. They like to put this over here and that over there. And I freaking hate it. And you'll see why in a later video. They like to do this. Do the derivative of the second first, and then do the derivative of this. And there's a reason for it, but it makes it harder to remember. So let's do the proof of this. I'm doing the limit as h goes to 0 of J of X plus H minus J of X, because I'm doing this one right here, over H. That is defined. That's what J prime of X is. And I'm going to replace J of X with F of X times G of X. So I have limit as H goes to 0 of J of X plus H. Not J of X plus H. This is F of X plus H times G of X plus H minus F of X times G of X all over H. And let's see, I'm gonna rope it. Copy it and paste it. That didn't allow me to paste it. I thought I copied it. Oh well. Maybe I gotta do that. Nope. All right. All right. Anyways, I'll write it out. So we have the F of X plus H times G of X plus H. And this is where the bullshit comes in. This is some bullshit, and you're not gonna like it. What we're gonna do is we're going to subtract an F of X times G of X plus H, and then we're gonna add it right back in. Okay? And then we still have minus F of X, G of X. And this is all over H. And now we split these two up. These go together. The first two go together. And the second two go together. So I've got limit as H goes to 0, F of X plus H, G of X plus H, minus F of X, G of X plus H, all over H, plus limit as H goes to 0 of F of X, g of x plus h minus f of x g of x all over h. Okay, now you can factor. This is, we're going to pull out on this one, we're going to pull out the gx plus h. On this one, we'll pull out the fx. So I have f of x plus h, oops, minus f of x over h times g of x plus h plus limit as h goes to 0, g of x plus h minus g of x over h times f of it. Let me put the f of x first. And you can split it. Remember the product of how this goes. You can make it like this. So I'm just breaking up the two products, putting the limit on each. And finally, so this is the derivative. Remember, this is what we're doing, derivative of f of x times g of x equals, that is the definition of f prime of x. This, we just plug in h equals 0, we get g of x. Plug the 0 in, we get g of x. Here, we plug 0 in for h, there's no h, we get f of x. And here, that's the definition of g prime of x. So we've shown what we had up here. In fact, this is another way of writing it that doesn't have the j in it. So I'm going to put this down here. You know what? Maybe I will use the thick pen. The thick pen makes it easier to look at and see. We have ddx of f of x g of x equals f prime of x g of x plus f of x, oops, that's not f of x, g prime of x. That's avoiding the j up above. This is called the product rule. So let's use it in an example. Let's, thinner pen. Find ddx of, I don't know, let's go with 2x to the 5th plus 7x to the 4th times 4x squared plus x. So the way we do this is we do ddx of the first one. I'm going to write it out without taking the derivative. And then that's multiplied by the other one. And then we leave the first one alone. And we multiply it by ddx of 4x squared plus x. So here, remember, we bring the power down, multiply, lower the power by 1, bring the power down, lower the power by 1. This is staying the same. Bring the power down, lower the power by 1, and the derivative of x is just a 1. So this ends up being 10x to the 4th plus 28x cubed times 4x squared plus x plus 2x to the 5th plus 7x to the 4th times 8x plus 1. If you need it multiplied all out, you can do that. This is fine as an answer. If you need it all multiplied out, it's easier to do so before taking the derivative. So if I multiply that out up above, I have 8x to the 7th plus 2x to the 6th plus 28x to the 6th plus 7x squared. I'm going to combine like terms real quick. And when you take the derivative here, you have 7 times 8x to the 6th plus 6 times 30x to the 5th plus 2 times 7x to the 1st, 56x to the 6th plus 180x to the 5th plus 14x. If you multiply this out, you should get that. Notice it's easier to take the derivative after multiplying if you need it all worked out. I'm going to pause that there, start a new video for the next one called the quotient rule. We did multiplication. Next is division.